Hello and good afternoon, and welcome to a brand new edition of Mdreaded Television. I've been away for a while, been very busy, but I'd like to talk to you today about the world that we may be facing in the next 12 months. As we have just passed 2011, it seems to me there are some very interesting developments within the world of politics, conflict and other such things. One of the predictions I am going to make is one about the Eurozone. For me, the stimulus and the bailouts that the European Union has been indulging in the last 6 months will not be enough to see a complete and total collapse of the euro as a currency. I predict by the end of the year that the nations like Germany and France, Spain, Portugal, Italy will refer back to their old currencies at some point within the next 2 to 3 years, because the euro, there is only so much you can do with regards to bailing out the euro up to such a point where there's no more bailout money. And this is the tipping point. No more bailout money. This is going to be the big thing in 2011. And unfortunately, in my opinion, this will lead to a very sudden shock to the world's economy. It will make the 2008 credit crunch look like, a relaxing day at the seaside in comparison in what could happen with regards to that. I also predict that China will dump the dollar as its main global reserve currency. And this will cause massive repercussions in Wall Street and the FTSE 100 and other places in the world. The American economy, as a result of this dollar dumping, will collapse completely in 2011, in my opinion. Another prediction are those rumours of war. Now, in the past 2 years, I've predicted World War III could break out at any point, and I still hold that prediction for this year. There has been rumours of war going on for ages. North and South Korea are at the most dangerous point that it's ever been in the last 5 decades since the last Korean War. There is also agreements between China and Russia with regards to energy supply and other such matters. This will increase chances that there may be a West versus East confrontation at some point later in the year. Hopefully cool heads will prevail and people will, just walk away from it. But I fear that will not be the case. The energy demand has risen sharply, especially within the developing world in countries like India and China. Now, China has already done a deal with the Iranians with regards to supplying them with oil. Thus, this could, any attack on Iran, or any kind of attack on Iran, would be akin to opening up a Pandora's box in the Middle East. It will set the Middle East alight. It would also cause a lot of distress and upset regarding to the Islamic world. Thus, this could cause more possible acts of terrorism against the United States and its allies. I actually do expect that to happen anyway, because the drone attacks in Pakistan that is happening at the moment, I expect a major terrorist incident in the Western Hemisphere, possibly in the United States, Canada, Britain, or in Europe this year. I do expect a major terrorist outrage. I hope I'm wrong, but from what I am seeing in the news and stuff like that, and fan the flames of discontent amongst the populace. Also, to fan the flames of the populace this year is the rising unemployment within the Western world and other parts of the world too. We've already seen Tunisia going up in smoke over high unemployment. I see a mass revolt emerging all over the world. I expect a summer of civil unrest in the United Kingdom due to the cuts that really will start kicking in from April this year. I see massive demonstrations that will happen. I see a lot of violence, sadly, because people will get very, very angry at their governments. On the other fronts, on a more lighter note, I do expect the trend to continue the downturn of hardware sales like DVDs and CDs, and more people will be turning to downloads as broadband gets much, much quicker. There's already plans for everybody to have at least 2 megabytes per second broadband by 2014, 2015, so I expect that trend to continue within the next few years. Also on the retail front, I do expect a downturn on sales. This will inevitably lead to job losses within the retail sector, which will add to the pressure with the public sector jobs going too. Another interesting development that I have noticed in the last few months is the fact that the bankers will become as loathed and as despised as even paedophiles within the next 12 months. I'm not talking about your average bank member of staff behind the counter, in your normal commercial banks. I'm talking about investment bankers. Their greed and their avarice will, let's put it this way, you reap what you sow, and they're going to reap it like the whirlwind in the next 12 months. They're already disliked, but I can see to the point now they will not even be able to walk out of doors without security guards and stuff like that, because the public will be so angry with them. Their greed, their recklessness, and their disregard for other people will see them get their karma, let's put it that way. I also expect on the terrorism front will not just come from Islamists. I also expect an increase of lone crazies, let's call them, ultra right-wing nationalistic sort of terrorism, because of the perception that political correctness does not care about the white or straight guy or whatever, and this is not done by no help at all from the likes of the Daily Express or the Mail whipping it up. So people have this perception. So sadly, as with the civil disorder that I expect in the summer with regards to the economic side of things and job losses, I expect further clashes between extreme groups like the EDL, English Defence League they like to call themselves, and opposing forces. And that really depresses me. I expect it to be far worse this year than it was last year. On a more positive note, I do expect a trend towards more self-reliance. I think allotments are going to really go forward. They already have done in the last couple of years. I expect a trend in growing your own food to rapidly increase over the next few months. I also expect more self-reliance, more heating your own using solar panels due to the rising energy costs and stuff like that. I expect that trend to start really making its mark. Overall, I'm afraid the world will not be a nicer place in 2011. But there is roots of hope within grassroots activism and stuff like that to make a world a better place for us all to live in. Okay then, and I wish you all a very happy 2011. And I just hope that we can all live in peace. Alright, take care of yourselves, and thank you very much.